Hey guys, welcome to Date Not a Debt, where we talk everything money, faith, and marriage. I'm Tori Gamble, and this episode we're going to be talking all about budgeting. What is a budget? How do you budget? What do you do when you budget your money and you have excess left over? Do you spend it? Do you save it? How does that work? So this episode we will be diving in, and we will have, of course, our luxurious lifestyle planner, which I am sponsored by, but as y'all already know, I live by this planner. So I'm going to show you how I set up my budget in this planner every single month and how I budget for the month, and I budget per pay period. And I may give y'all a little exclusive and put them little cash envelopes in there because a lot of y'all have been asking me how do the cash envelopes work. So make sure you stay tuned. Okay guys, so I have my luxurious lifestyle planner out, and I'm going to show you how I use my planner to go ahead and fix my budget for every single month. Now, reminder, I do budget monthly, and then I also go back and I budget per pay period. So if you're someone that gets paid bi-weekly, you will budget twice that month. If you're someone that gets paid weekly, like myself, you will budget every single week. And so this way that you're on top of your bills, you know what you're going to pay, how much you're going to pay, who you're going to pay it to, and what is going to be left at the end of all of your expenses. First, I start with the monthly bill organizer. It has a section called Payee, which is the person you're going to pay. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to pay Georgia Power because you know your girl need to keep her lights on, okay? So I will write Georgia Power as my payee. And then once I write down Georgia Power, I will write down the due date. It is really important that you keep track of when your bills are due. That is the biggest way to blow your budget, is not knowing what is supposed to come out. So if you look in your account and it's like $100 in there and your power bill is $60, but you forget that your power bill is supposed to come out that day, and so you go and you buy something for $100, well, guess what happens? Now, when your power bill comes out, you're going to be in the red. We don't want to be in the red. That is a huge way to blow your budget, because on top of you now owing $60 to your bank, they're going to charge that $35 fee if you went with Wells Fargo. I don't know who y'all bank with, what they charge, but they're going to charge that $30 fee on top of that. So you're going to end up paying $35 more than what you should have been paying for your bills. So I went ahead and put the due date in there, and I think mine is about the 14th. For this, we're going to say the 14th. The amount of your bills. And in one of these videos, we'll talk about how to cut back on your bills. But mine's usually average between $115 and $150 a month. So I'll do $150 at the most. And then once I have paid my bill, what I like to do is go in and actually write what I paid. So if I estimate that my bill is $150 for the month, because that's the max that I usually pay, and I actually get my bill, and let's say the Lord has been good to me this particular bill cycle, and it's $117, then I'll go ahead and put $117, just so that I let myself know that, hey, I spent less than what I thought I was going to spend, and that there is a cushion left over in that Georgia Power bill. Once I do that, I go ahead and I add the method of payment. I know a lot of people skip over this method of payment because they're like, oh, it's automatic, or, oh, I just pay with my card, or they don't think it's important. I honestly think that the method of payment is extremely important because, a little quick story time, there's once that I actually paid a bill. And I knew I paid the bill, and I put the method of payment down. However, I did not pay with my usual method of payment, which is usually just my Wells Fargo card. I actually did it through a Cash App card because someone had sent me some money and I just left it on the card and I used the Cash App card. Well, it so happened that the computer system at that company had a glitch. And in that glitch, they said I didn't pay the bill. So they tacked on all these late fees and they sent me all these red notices. And my husband is freaking out saying, you said you paid the bill. Like, I gave you the money for the bill. Why isn't the bill paid? And I'm like, I know I paid the bill. So I went through and looked through my planner and I was like, okay, what did I use? Because we were looking through our Wells Fargo account because I had forgotten that I had paid the bill with the Cash App card. And we didn't see it on there. So I was like, maybe I didn't. Maybe we can pay it again. Plus now with the fees and everything. Someone told me, go ahead and look in your planner. I went ahead and I looked at my planner and I saw that I put Cash App. So I went on my Cash App card and I was able to find that transaction and send it to the company to show it as proof that I actually paid this bill. So I recommend that you use the method of payment in order for you to keep track of like how how did you pay for that bill, that cycle, just in case something changed, just in case things happen. And you can't be trusting everybody because they did not care that I said I paid for that bill. they knew they wanted their money and they had already added taxes and everything else, late fees onto it as well. So I always write that, what I use. And if I put automatic, I just put auto if it comes out automatic. Once I do that, I fill up this entire page. At the end of the page, I usually put the total. Now, you may not have enough bills to fill up the entire page, which hopefully you don't, because you do not want to have more expenses than you have income. That means you are living above your means. You are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses is broke. That's the gag. Nobody told y'all. The Joneses is broke, okay? So don't be trying to keep up with them. But once you have filled up all your expenses on this page, I always recommend that you put your total down. And the importance of the total is because when you're actually budgeting or you're setting a budget, you really want to live only off of 50% of your income. I know somebody is like, girl, how? It's possible. I ended up doing it. In the beginning, I was living off of maybe 90% off my income. But with moving around some bills and, shopping around for some different policies and different things, I end up saving money. And now we live off a little bit like 46% of our income instead of the whole 100%. So I go ahead and I tally up what the full amount is going to be. And that's pretty much the end of my monthly expenses. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to move over to is the luxurious thoughts. And this is the area where I always work out everything. There is just something about pen and paper that makes whatever you're focusing on sticks to the front of your head. And so I love to work out. I'm a math geek, just so you know. So I love to work out numbers and figure it out. So this is my favorite part. What I normally do is over here, I started with the income. And I'll write down, income, if I could spell. Yeah, I use a pencil, guys, because I'm a perfectionist. I know a lot of people that are in my inbox on Instagram at Date Matter Debt. They are always saying, I don't want to write in it because I don't want to mess it up. It's so pretty. I get it. However, if you don't do the work, then you won't get the results. That's just the end of it. So what I do is I always make sure I have a bunch of mechanical pencils, and I usually write with those so that I can erase and I can keep it pretty, as well as get the things that I need to get, which is to work out this money, okay? Because I supposed to need her coins. So anywho, I start with income, and what I do is I write down the expected or the estimated amount. Especially for someone who isn't salary, if you're hourly, you kind of just want to write down what you think you're going to make. You kind of know in the top of your head, because we all know Black folks don't play about their money. So you're always counting your coins. You're always counting your hours to see what you think you should bring home. So that's what you want to write in the estimated column. So I write estimate and then I write actual. So upon doing so, under income, I'll put the date, whatever is my payday. So if I get payday weekly, every Thursday, I'll put, whatever those dates are for the month. If I get paid bi-weekly, I'll put those 2 dates on there. If I get paid monthly, then I'll just put one date on there. So let's say if I did July 15th and then I got paid again July 24th. I'm just throwing some dates out there, guys. So I'll put those dates under income. After putting those days under income, I'll put the estimated amount. So let's say I get paid $3,000 or about $3,000 usually every 2 weeks. I'll put the $3,000 on there, and until I get paid, the actual is going to stay there because you won't know until payday. So I still go ahead and budget based off of what I think I'm going to be paid. And just a little trick when it comes to your income, if you are a person who are like, I think I'm going to get paid about, let's say $750 this week or whatever the case is, but you're not sure what it's going to be, I always go back to the month before and I budget based off of the lowest amount that I was paid the month before. So if in the month of, July when we're doing this, okay, in the month of June, if the lowest amount you got paid was $700, then for this go around, I will put $700 for my estimated payday, unless you know that it's going to be more than that. So then that way, even if it is more than that and you estimate at the $700, you'll still have more of a cushion left over. You'll get more than what you expected, and that's more money that'll go into your investment money. So I'll go ahead and put that, and I'll leave the actual open until I actually get paid. From here, I usually set up each paycheck and I budget like what bills I'm going to pay per paycheck. So for the 07-15, I know for the example on the monthly bill organizer, we only did one bill. So I'm just gonna make up some other bills on here and put it on there just to kind of help you out. All right, so let's say Georgia Power by the 15th. I know Georgia Power is due on the 14th, so I'm gonna pay Georgia Power. We said Georgia Power was going to be $150. Let's put rent. That's at the beginning or whatever, the beginning of the month or 15, however you pay. And let's say your rent is $800. You know, you're going to pay that then. Your water bill, most of your utilities are due by the beginning of the month. So let's see, water bill. Let's say the water bill is due on the 1st and that's $100. Let's just put that there. And maybe you're gonna pay your car note. And that's $250. Well, I know that those are the bills that I'm gonna pay out of the $3,000 that I get on the 15th of July. Then the next go around, I'll go ahead and I'll put in the remainder of the bills for the 24th, whatever those bills are. So I don't know, guys, childcare, I'm just making up something. I don't even have childcare. And we know childcare is an arm and a leg, but just for this purpose, imagine my baby go to school in the hood, so it's only $450 a month, okay? So $450. What else could there be? What are the bills? Car insurance, maybe. Let's just say $200. And we'll do one more. Let's just say health insurance. Make something up. And let's say that's $100 a month. Again, these are falsified numbers. So I don't need nobody in the comments saying, girl, where you live? That ain't true. Okay. It's just for showing purposes. So I'll go ahead and add those up. So for the first one, it's about $1,300. And for the second pay period, it's what? $750. So once I have that, I'll go ahead and subtract those from the $3,000 from each pay period. And I usually don't write it this big. I usually make space based off of how many, paychecks that you have. So for me, there's a total of 8 paychecks that come into my house every month. So I literally have to make my spaces a lot smaller. But for this purpose, they won't be smaller. 3,000 and 750. So once I add those up or subtract those, which I'm just gonna double check my work, y'all. Your phone is always have your calculator, baby. Make sure you get them coins right. All right. So once I have that added up, whatever is left, that is the money that we're going to use for our investments. And when I talk about investments, I mean anything that you are going to be putting money in order to make more money. So whether that be stocks or a high yield, high interest yielding savings account, or your 401k, or whatever else you have. Then also on top of that, you want to make sure that you put money aside for your cash envelopes. So I don't know if we talked about cash envelopes before. I believe in that last video we did mention something about the cash envelopes, but I have cash envelopes that actually come with my planners. And in my cash envelopes, they have certain names on it, like this says stash and savings. There's a few that have like groceries or Tide and stuff. And so when I go ahead and I go through all of my expenses and I take everything out, I start to put aside money that I think I'm going to need for the month, and I put in my cash envelope so that it doesn't get mixed in with the money that is going into my investments account. So what exactly is a budget, right? Do you know? To simplify it, a budget is basically just your income minus your expenses. And what is left is your, what I like to call, investments. All right. So basically, whatever your expenses are, they're gonna come out your income. So we said what our income was, what, 3,000? I think it was like 3,000 for the one pay period minus the 1,300, which left us with 1,700. Okay, so we know this is the income that we got. This was the expenses that we, everything, all our bills, our water, electricity, utilities, blah, blah, blah. And this is what left. This is the most important part because this is not your spending money. You should not go out and get a Chanel bag or a Louis bag. This is not for you to go out and get you some red bottoms, okay? Them black bottoms been doing fine. They're gonna still keep doing fine, okay? This is for you to make more money with. Now, before we move into how we're going to make more money with this, let's pull out things like our groceries, because we need those. You gotta eat. Let's pull out things like our gas money, right? I may want to get my hair done or something, so nails, hair, slay. Okay, we're gonna just call it slay. We want to pull those things out as well. These are the things that will go into your cash envelope. Oh, I forgot tithe, y'all. Y'all, we gotta pay the Lord, okay? If you want the good Lord to bless you, you must bless his house as well, okay? Amen. So these are the things that will go into your cash envelopes, right? And you will decide how much goes into there. Okay, so let's say for groceries, $400 a month. Gas, gas is cheap now thanks to Corona. $120. Slay. Sisters, I know my bros on here too, but this is for my sisters. You don't need that $300 wig. Okay, you don't need it. You already have a $300 wig. That's how you got in debt in the first place. So utilize that wig. Maybe only pay to wash it. Get it washed for $50, or have somebody, tie up the ends. I don't know. I don't wear them, so I don't know. But you don't need to spend $500 and $600 and $700 to look good to go nowhere in the middle of a pandemic. Okay, so your slay envelope should be very low right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna say 200. I'm gonna be kind because I don't even spend 200 on slay. And of course, tithe in 10% of your income. So we're gonna say 300. All right, so we're gonna take all of that from the 1,700, which we have 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 20. All right, so that's what we have from there. Now left over from that 1020, because remember we have the 1,700, and we're gonna subtract, that was the leftover amount, and we're gonna subtract the 1020 from there, which that's 720 from 100 is 80, so that's 680. So we have 680 left for investments. All right, you already invested in your health. You've already invested in your car. You've already invested in yourself. You've already invested in your God, okay? Now it's time to invest into making more money. This is where if you have like a side hustle, you may, pay for inventory for your side hustle. You may be trying to build a business of some sort. There you go. Stocks and bonds. You may want to start buying some stocks while they're low. They're actually starting to go back up, but you all should go on Cash App and go ahead and buy you some stocks. You can buy stocks for really, really low. I'm telling you, your girl been balling on Cash App with her stocks, okay? I even invest in Tesla, y'all, okay? They sent me an email asking me, telling me they needed my vote because I'm part of the board. I don't even drive a Tesla, but anywho, your stocks and your bonds, and of course, your savings, which if you do not have a high interest saving account, I recommend that you get one. That is the quickest way for your money to make money while it's just sitting there doing nothing. So basically, what that means is you put money into a savings account, which is a high yielding savings account, and the bank pays you a percent of your money, basically, double the money on there so that they can use your money. If you don't know, that's how the banks make money. They take your money and they invest it to make them more money. So they're doing that regardless. If you're with Wells Fargo and you're not in a high interest savings account, or you're with Bank of America and you don't have a high interest savings account, they're still making money off your money. You're just not getting a return for it. So this way you at least get some type of return for it. So a high yielding savings account. You want to take that money into and put it in there. And you can divide this up however you see fit to divide this up. Also, if you're a person that goes into like the grocery store a lot and buy miscellaneous stuff, like if you just pick up knickknacks, it's okay to put a miscellaneous folder over here, like envelope over here, and put some money over there as well. Because I know, for instance, my husband, he just picks up knickknacks all the time. So we have a miscellaneous folder, a cash envelope folder, where he just, take out money to buy whatever he want to buy without messing up my budget. So pretty much that sums up how you do a budget. You can decide how you want it. You may say, okay, I'm gonna take 300 of this and put it in savings. I'm going to invest another 300 in stocks and bonds, and I'm going to put 80 towards my side hustle. However you want to do it. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. The purpose is that by doing so, you were able to not only pay your expenses, you paid all your bills, but you were also able to put money aside for the things that you need in your everyday life. And you have your money working for you instead of you constantly working for your money. The more you do this, the more money you make, the more you have in savings, the more you have in your business, the more you have in stocks and bonds, the less you gotta work for your money. It's simple as that, guys. All right, guys, so there you have it. We have completed our budget. I hope that you have a better understanding of how to budget, what to do with your investment money, what to do with your expenses, and everything else that you need in order for you to live the financial free life that you deserve to live. Tune in next time and we'll talk more things: money, marriage, and faith. See you later.
You say cash rules everything around you. What about love? You